Good morning, welcome Shem Stars. As we have already started chapter 13, Organism and Population. In continuation of this chapter, today we are going to learn about responses to abiotic factors. Responses to abiotic factors determine how organisms can cope or manage with stressful conditions of the habitat. These we are going to learn under the headings of homeostasis, regulate, conform, migrate, and suspend. During the course of millions of years of their existence, many species would have evolved a relatively constant internal environment that permits all biochemical reactions and physiological functions to proceed with maximal efficiency and thus enhance the overall fitness of the species. Organisms must maintain homeostasis, a steady state internal environment. Despite changes in the external environment, organisms respond to abiotic factors in one of the two ways: regulators and conformers, which we will discuss one by one. Let's talk about conformers. About 99% of animals and almost all plants cannot maintain a constant internal environment. Their body temperature changes with the ambient temperature. In aquatic organisms, the osmotic concentration of the body fluid changes with that of the osmotic concentration of the water. These animals and plants are called conformers. The advantage of living this way is the low metabolic cost to the organism, as they do not employ physiological mechanisms to alter their metabolic rate. These mechanisms are energy consuming. A disadvantage to living as a conformer is that there is only a narrow range of ecological niches that the organism can live in. This means they are less adaptable to environmental changes. Some organisms maintain homeostasis by physiological and sometimes behavioral means. All birds and mammals and few lower vertebrates and invertebrates are capable of thermoregulation and osmoregulation. In mammals, during summer, sweating occurs profusely and the evaporation brings down temperature of the body. In mammals, during winter, shivering occurs, which is a kind of exercise that produces heat and raises the body temperature. So these are regulators. Regulators use a lot of energy to carry out their homeostatic activities. However, the huge advantage they have is that they can colonize a range of different habitats. Since they can maintain their internal environment, thus can exploit habitats which conformers cannot. Now let's talk about migrate. It is the temporary movement from a stressful habitat to a more favorable area and return when the stressful period is over. Many animals, particularly birds, during winter undertake long distances migrations to more hospitable areas. Migration usually occurs before and after breeding seasons. During a breeding season, migratory birds and animals are subjected to seasonal changes in environment and undergo physiological and anatomical changes. Now let's talk about another category, that is suspend. Under unfavorable conditions, bacteria, fungi, and lower plants slow down their metabolic rate and forms a thick walled spores to overcome stressful conditions. These spores germinate under onset of suitable environment. Some animals which fail to migrate might avoid the stress by escaping in time. For example, bear undergoes hibernation during winter. Some snails and fish undergo estivation to avoid summer-related problems. During unfavorable conditions, many zooplanktons in lakes and ponds enter a stage of suspended development. So that is suspend. So children, this is all about responses to abiotic factors. So children, we discussed about regulators, conformers, migrate and suspend in this video. In the next video, we will discuss about adaptations in animals and plants. Thank you, Shem Stars. That's all for today. You can drop your queries on Google Classroom. Take care.